says I'm live. I'm alive. I'm alive. But I look like I'm dead because the lighting. Child, what is going on? How's that? Not a whole lot better. I have one more strategy. It concerns moving this giant board somewhere right there. And then, ooh, not in the frame, child. Close, but not in the frame. Okay. How do we feel about that? I feel better. Great. Thank you for bearing with me, friends. Happy Wednesday, the day of communication. That's why we're gathered here today. Oh, why is it the day of communication, you might ask? Because Wednesday is ruled by the planet Mercury, and Mercury is the planet of communication. Every day of the week, in fact, has a planet associated with it. The more you know. Okay, I'm breathing, I'm cooling down. I have some housekeeping business to take care of. Chiefly is that I wanted to check out the live stream from a different account because I want to know what's going on. Mm, ads? Okay. Now I'm going to make the volume way lower. There we go. Cool. That's one piece of housekeeping. Another piece of housekeeping is start a poll. Healing via astrology Discord server. Comment below. Hey, friend. I am pinning a comment or making a poll, rather. Give me just a moment, but also welcome and thanks for popping in for a hot second. This is my first live with you, too. Sorry. I got excited. Okay, so I'm starting a poll. Because I learned recently that that is a tool for engagement. Maybe it gets people hype about being here. Ah, mm. Okay, so that was one piece of business. And then I wanted to pin a comment about the readings. Oh, but they frozen. There we go. So what shall I say? Okay, hey, what you can astro readings. One question, singular. And gosh, I wish I was a multitask type person. Or okay, I think that that's right. Okay, so I'm gonna post that comment and then I pin it. And then the housekeeping is done. Yay. Okay. So, yeah, thank you so much for y'all patience. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for loving the vibes. with the little magical emoji. Love that. Yeah, welcome. This is me, your friendo, the lady Ms. Vagina Jenkins, Black queer autistic artist, astrologer, excellence personified. And this is my community, people that just stop by to say hey, and I support you and I see you. Thanks for popping in for a hot second. Yeah, this is the Astro office hours. And for these, I like to do, I want to look at the astrology coming down the pipeline for the month of October. And then I also like to do the pay what you can, kinds of readings if people have particular astro questions, about their chart, because I want to make financial accessibility a thing, in the services that I provide for community. This is not the only way that you can have readings that are financially accessible with me, by the way. I also have two other ways. The first way, one, I offer a discount to low income folks who are also Black and Indigenous and, disabled, chronically ill, neurodivergent. So, folks at those intersections. And so hit me up on email, contact@vaginajenkins.com if that's something that you need. I have that available for you. And I also have a fund where people of means can put into a pot. And that pot goes to sponsor readings for the same population of folks, low income, Black and Indigenous folks. And if you are a person of means and you want to sponsor a reading, please check out my website, vaginajenkins.com. There's a listing right there that says, hey, astrology readings? Yeah, keep scrolling. Sponsor a reading? Yes. And you can put any amount of money into that pot from $2 up. So yeah, that pot of money exists, discounts exist, and this space of doing astro office hours exists. So please, 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 please hit me up if you need astro help, because it's a healing, to me it's a healing modality, and I don't think that capitalism should keep you from accessing healing modalities. But that's just me. Black ancestral wisdom. I don't know. White supremacy says different, but who knows who's right in these situations, really? Sips tea aggressively. Okay, so we are going to look at some astrology. Let me share my screen with you. Oh, this is why I'm watching on the other thing, because I want to know what happens when I share my screen. Okay, let's look at the monthly astro calendar. Black screen. Oh, interesting. Well, now we know, and I freaking hate it. So I keep doing these live sessions, right? And I share my screen, and I notice that there are jumps in the video playback. And I was like, yo, what's happening? What's happening? So when I share my screen, and I'm looking at that tab and I'm using my cursor and I'm telling y'all all about the chart, absolutely nothing is happening. All y'all see is a black screen. I got to figure out a different way to do this then. I might have to end up paying for software again, which I don't like. I refuse. I refuse. Like, even if I had it like that. Yeah. But yeah, so that's good to know. I can barely see that screen in my phone. That makes me think that y'all can't see it. I guess if you expand the screen, you can see a little better. Comment below if you're having visual accessibility issues. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know how to fix them in this moment, but I want to troubleshoot it for the future. And I'm so sorry. Okay. We keep on pushing, you know. We live, we learn, we do better every time. But yeah, so the astrology for the month of October. Um, so I'm just gonna do a little overview. If you click on that chart, it should get larger. Let me see. Mhm. Let me see. Well, I have just enlarged my screen. When I clicked on it, it didn't get larger, but I know what you're talking about when you have a circle chart here in this app. Oh, this website. By the way, if you're ever curious about what this is a website called astro-seek.com. It's probably my second favorite website to use for astrology things. My favorite website to use is my favorite website to use is called astro.com, and I think it's more accessible to beginners to intermediate folks. And then I feel like Astro Seek, which is what we're looking at now, is a little bit more intermediate to advanced. But I like it for transits specifically. So I'm just want to look at this as an overview first before we start like looking at specific charts. But also, oh, hey, Toddy, welcome. Oh, good. Okay. You can see it better. Thank you for letting me know. Yeah, maybe that's my solution. I'm just gonna remember to make it larger. We'll see what happens when we open it up to look at individual charts, though. Um, but also do let me know if you have particular questions about any of these transits or transits coming down the line in particular, or about your chart on the pay what you can reading side of things. But yeah, overview. If Mercury is going into Scorpio on October 6th, when does Mercury leave Scorpio or do anything else? Okay, so look, Mercury is going into Scorpio at the beginning of the month, there for about 3 weeks before it enters into Sagittarius. Question for you: where do you have Scorpio? In what house? Because what if communications are featured in that particular house? What if they are featured in a particularly scorpionic way? Like Mercury and Scorpio for me feels like the energy of being able to facilitate like difficult, hard conversations. But in what particular area of life for you, depending on where you have Scorpio in your chart? Um, for me, I'm excited about this transit because I do believe that on that day I have therapy and I have a Scorpio 12th house, and I need to know why I keep sabotaging myself in this one particular area of my life, and I'm so grateful to see this transit. So yeah, we've got 3 weeks of Mercury in Scorpio before we get into Mercury in Sagittarius energy. If I were to characterize this season, if we're talking, or this month particular, as it relates to like what might be heavy on our minds, yes, the Scorpio themes, and also later in the month, switching over to the Sagittarian themes. So, what does digging deep and doing shadow work and confronting like the secrets and the taboos of things, what does that do for us in terms of how we might then broaden our mental horizons, change how we like think about the world? Like that kind of deep soul level change. So that's an interesting thing to think about as we're thinking about the journey of Mercury and it affecting our mental landscape, nervous systems, depending, of course, on where you have Scorpio and Sagittarius in your chart. We got full moons in Aries, so we're playing with the moon in Aries, Libra. So that's interesting. Full moons, as an idea, could be potentially the time for releasing. So, what could we potentially be releasing in the Aries house of our chart? So, what house do you have Aries? And then, if it's a full moon in Aries, releasing in an Aries kind of way. When I think about Aries, I think about actions that we might take. I think about following the things that are exciting, and the things that we are passionate and excited about. So, what could this mean? Oh, I also think about like self advocacy, self agency. What could we be releasing in an Aries way in that particular time? And then how does that show up for you? Because you know where Aries is in your particular astrology chart. And then the opposite side of things, 2 weeks later, we get to then look at the sister sign of Aries. So the opposite house, again, these houses come in pairs, and they're talking about two sides of the same coin as it relates to whatever issue in your life. And so we get this opportunity 2 weeks later to then begin something new in a completely opposite sort of energy. So I'll give you an example. For me, I know that the Aries part of my chart is my fifth house. And I think a lot about my creativity because I have a Venus in Aries. And then this is where I want to know the exact degree. Ooh, 14 degrees. I think that is conjunct to my Venus in Aries. Okay. So this might have something to do with my creativity, releasing something to do with putting myself out there, maybe releasing something to do with my sense of sharing myself and my art and my creativity with the world and my self-expression, perhaps. And then 2 weeks later, I get to say, hey, I let that go. And what I'm ready to now begin is a new era in involving my people and connecting to community around my art. That's interesting to think of and terrifying, as I am autistic as fucking afraid of people. So, I don't know. Holler if you too are a person who loves people ideologically, but is terrified of the reality of humanity. Because why do they be acting like that? Okay, so that's some things around the moon. That's some things about the Mercury. I'm kind of looking at the planets that are closest to us first, because I believe that those inner planets have more of a hit. I want to open up some of these charts. You see how each date there's an option to look at the particular chart. So do let me know if there's a chart that you want me to open up and look at. Otherwise, I'm just sort of looking at the overview. What else? Oh my gosh. Neptune leaving Aries. So that means that Neptune, wait, no, is that true? We have to open that up, because why did I think that that already happened, that Neptune was back in Pisces? Let's open that up. October 22nd. October 22nd. It was about Neptune. Oh, sorry, I was mistaken. You want to look at the Venus and entering Libra chart? I will absolutely open that up. I'm gonna help me remember that if I don't remember that. Help me remember that, please, and thank you. Okay, so yeah, this was about Neptune retrograding back into Pisces, where I guess it will then join up with Saturn, which is interesting if you think about we've been edging the beginning, the ending slash beginning of Saturn, Neptune, making the end of the cycle in Pisces and starting a completely new cycle here in Aries. And so, yes, to retrograde planets and the opportunity to revisit an idea. And then, yeah, what ideas are we revisiting? When I think about Saturn and Pisces, I think about how we might have made some strides in the last 2.5 years as Saturn has been in Pisces in terms of having boundaries with folks, having structures and routines around our spirituality or our creativity, things like that may have been expanded in the last couple of years. Um, for you with Saturn in Pisces. And then Saturn was in Aries for a little while. And now that it's back and it's retrograding, it's an opportunity to tie up loose ends. Have you really done the work that you say you did in terms of those boundaries relationally or creativity or in terms of creating boundaries and containers for your spirituality? Yeah, what did you get to work on in the Pisces area of your particular chart? And then what do you get to revisit and tie up the loose ends on? And then when Neptune gets involved, what do we get to be really, really clear on in terms of, oh, dang, this was a way in which I was lying to myself. This was a way in which I feel like I had the wool pulled over my eyes externally by someone else. I feel like Neptune is a real, we're not going to use that D word because we learn about ableism and neurodiversity. So we're not going to say delusional. We are going to say illusional planet. It talks about the ways in which, oh shit, there's a fog, there's a haze. This is not exactly how things are meant to be. But sometimes in the fog and haze, we can let ourselves go and experience like a sense of oneness. A spectrum of behavior is what I'm talking about, or a spectrum of like expression. But yeah, when Neptune joins up with Saturn, how do we get to be so fucking for real about those sort of Piscean work, our work and boundaries that we have been doing the last couple of years, and stop lying to ourselves, stop having folks lie to us about those boundaries and those structures that we've been creating there, if that makes sense. Um, it's also interesting in this particular chart to notice that there's a grand trine between some other planets and that aspect. So we got the aspect between Saturn and Neptune. And then what are they being supported by? Jupiter in Cancer, where it loves to be. It's an honored guest. It's working effectively to help us attract abundance and the things that we need to feel comfortable and safe just so easily, just flowing to us because it's water, right? And a Mercury in Scorpio trine. So remember how we were talking earlier about Mercury in Scorpio and the gift that this time could be in terms of like doing some really deep shadow work. So yeah, that kind of deep dive mentally and really examining your stuff and being able to like call to yourself the things that you need to feel safe emotionally to do that work and being so for real about these boundaries, about your creativity, about your spiritual work. All of these things are supporting each other on that particular date. And I wonder, is this separating or hmm? Give me just a second. Sorry, I have to think, and I'm slow at thinking. Oh, it's applying. Yeah, 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 yeah. So that's it. It kind of begins at this time frame and then grows for a couple of days after that. So that's kind of really that's cute for you. That's cute for you. Okay, I'm gonna stop looking at that chart. Close that. So yeah, and then you wanted to look. What did you say? Tuning into Oh my gosh. Tuning into the loveliest method of learning how to memorize essential dignities on the internet. Thank you. Sorry, I could not process that for a second, and I don't know why. My brain was broken. Okay, let's look back at the list so we can find Venus entering Libra. Let me share the list. Where's the list? Why is no one ready? Okay. We're going to share the monthly astro calendar. We're going to make sure it's big. Mhm. And Venus entering Libra on the 13th. That date is significant for me, and I don't know why. October 13th. Ooh, let's hope it's a Friday. What if it was a Venus day and Venus entered Libra on that day? Let's go see what it is. Hold on. One, three, 10. It's not a Friday. Wait, hold on. Share this tab instead. No, not this tab. Share this tab instead. Thank you for your patience, friends. I can make that a little larger. Oh, ooh, okay. All right. Thank you for your patience, friends. Ooh, where is Venus in Libra? Okay, I see it at the bottom of the chart. Ooh, wait, it's exactly at 0 degrees, conjunct the vertex. Who else is at 0 degrees at that time? I just want to see what aspects are being made. So I'm hunting around to see if anybody is around 28, 29, 1 degrees. Oop, Neptune. Neptune in Aries, exactly opposing Venus in Libra. Remember how we talked about the journey towards being so for real? Yeah, but it's not quite in Neptune and Pisces territory and conjunct that Saturn. It's right before it. It's right in the place where it's in the purest expression of Aries energy. So again, how have we been have we lied to ourselves, and how have we had the wool pulled over our eyes in these Aries kinds of ways as it relates to your own personal sense of agency, and advocating for yourself and having authority over yourself? That might have been something that you've been more concerned with in the last few weeks when Neptune was solidly in Aries, before it's like retrograding into this Pisces place. Yeah, but that is exactly opposite of this Venus moment. So yeah, Venus in Libra, I was excited about because that's a homecoming. Venus loves being in Libra. That's its home sign. How's this smack dab on your ascendant? Ooh, which one? The Libra part or the Aries part? Mm. This is supposed to be an ergonomic chair. It's not erging my nomic. 0 Libra. Wow. Okay, so that's cute. 0 degrees Libra rising. Um, how cute are you? And then also, how much have you struggled with the idea of relating to others and prioritizing others over self. That's neither here nor there. But if I had a 0 degree Libra, in that moment, I would take advantage of that opposition to like really be so for real and look at some ways in which you might have been, engaging in mm, non Aries kinds of behaviors, the kinds of behaviors that are about like not advocating for yourself and not having boundaries, standing up for yourself, agency, that kind of thing. Lying to yourself about like who you are in the world, or allowing people to dupe you about who you are in the world. Yeah. So that's an interesting moment for that. But then as you then experience this journey of the next, 3 or 4 weeks of Venus being in Libra, then it gets to be this other kind of experience of, hold on, we're moving through. Is anybody else going to be transiting through Aries? Yeah, we're moving through this journey of like finding that voice to ultimately end up with a Venus Chiron conjunction later in the month, which is definitely this space of healing. So I'm thinking about it is the lens or through the lens of being so for real with oneself and confronting the ways like you've, you know, not had your boundaries around yourself, whatever that looks like, and engaging in this process of like 3 or 4 weeks of intentional interrogation around it so that when you get to the conjunction at 25 degrees of Chiron, let me see what the date is for that, by the way. Hold on. That a nice air trine with the outer planets, too. Yes, babes. Yes, babes. So two things. Wait, I have to put it in the chat so I won't forget. So I want to I want to talk about that trine, but then I also want to look at when is, oh, when is Venus at 25 degrees Aries? Okay. The trine, though. Oh, I'm trying to synthesize that picture. So, yes, an air trine, ease of communications, ease in the mental landscape kind of space, which is interesting because where is Mercury? It's still in Scorpio. Okay, okay, okay. I like that. I like the idea of being supported in this time of doing this deep dive. Oh, okay. That conjunction to Mars. Word, word. Uh, but yeah, being supported in this time through with this air trine. Yes, and then what is the air trine made up of? The energy to, again, Pluto energy, the energy to deep dive, again, Uranian energy, the energy to get weird or allow yourself to experience the unexpected that allows you to process these ideas a little bit more clearly. And the Venus in Libra moment. Oh, Venus being at home in Libra. And so, how easeful it might be to maybe be able to actually transform some of those Neptunian and Aries behaviors because you have these allies of transformation on your side in this moment. I like that. That's my interpretation. Put it in the comments if you feel. What'd you say? It's kind of a lifelong thing battling with Slavic codependence. If you know, you know. I hear you. What did you say? Help with the processing. Yeah. When is Venus at 20? Oh, that was me. Sorry. So stupid. Pisces Mercury. Okay. Okay. I think I got all the comments. Sorry. I had noticed in the past that I am bad at looking at the comments and acknowledging them. And I didn't like that. So I'm trying to do better. Okay. So, yes to that. And we wanted to check on when was Venus at 25 degrees Aries. Hmm. Let me just go to the side and check an online ephemeris. 25 degrees of Aries. What month even is this? There. It looks like October 10th. All right, I think it's October 10th, which is a Friday. Um, so it's interesting. Wait, I want to go back to the list because that actually didn't make any sense to me as I said it. Hold on. No, yeah, that doesn't make sense. Yeah, no, that doesn't make sense. Hold on. Don't write that date down. I don't think that date is right. Uranus and Pluto both made the sextile to Neptune as well. Oh, the top part of the kite you're looking at here? Sorry, read it out loud. Uranus and Pluto both make a sextile to Neptune as well. The aspect associated with Venus. I didn't know that the sextile is associated with Venus. Um, a homecoming with some helping hands from the Neptune and Aries vibes. I feel it. Wait, let me look at that again. It's the Uranus and Pluto making a sextile. Can I find that? Oh, yeah. I see it now. Thank you. Oh, yeah. That feels so supportive and gentle. It's like a gentle cradle for that opposition between Neptune and Venus. Oh, and then also, what is that they be saying about the kite? That if you pull back on the meow, 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 if you pull back on the Neptune, that you propel yourself forward further in the Venus of it all. Is that right? Do I have that exactly backwards? Bow and arrow. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Sorry. I always have to make that shape. Um, so that's pretty cool. I'm gonna go back to the list. Oh wait, no, because I never found out the exact time when Venus is conjunct Chiron. So I want to find that out. Hold on, 2 seconds. Be right back. Let's go 1 week at a time. Da, da, da. Where's that Venus? Eh. Okay, well, I'm going to be honest with you. I got over there and I started looking at charts, fast forwarding, and then I forgot what I was looking for. And then I gave up. I'm gonna be honest. Because I just thought to myself, it's too fucking hot. But you get what I mean. If you, I'm sure, yes, you have access to an ephemeris. If you'll check that out for me. I never knew that about the kite. Oh yeah. I mean, that's what they be saying. They do say a lot though. though. Ooh, that feels better. Ooh, I just got so cranky because I got hot. Also, my hair is gorgeous, but also back and forward into the peak planet. Yeah. Yeah, my hair is gorgeous, and also it's full of secrets and body heat. Um, Let me go back to the list. Oh shoot, I forgot to do. Okay, we're back at the list. Does anything else feel like interesting that we want to look at? Let me know in the comments. I'm also looking to see anything that feels particularly interesting to me. Mercury conjunction to Mars. Oh yeah, I think I was looking at that in some other chart and noticed that that was coming up. When, where it's happening in Scorpio too? Okay. Best case scenario, get a little extra energy to do our deep dives. Worst case scenario, our deep dives stir up some conflict, perhaps. We talked about the new moon. We talked about Neptune a touch. Scorpio season, yes. Starts October 23rd. Lilith happenings. Yeah. I thought that we had one more eclipse though. Did I make that up? I guess that's it. Oh, I think, oh, we have no eclipses in the month of October. I think those don't kick off again until March. But also down the line, I noticed that there's a Mercury retrograde at the end of November, like the last couple weeks of November. And that's something I'm trying to hold on to because it's happening in Sagittarius I'm a Sagittarius rising. And I'm just having a heads up moment about it. Yeah, I think that that's everything that I wanted to look at. Does anybody want us to look at their chart or have any questions just generally? I want to talk about astro in the world, in the wild. Oh, also, I meant to say this at the outset and I forgot, but I wanted to acknowledge it's Hoodoo Heritage Month, which is exciting. What are y'all doing? Who are you gonna be with? Can I come? Or can I get a plate at least? So yeah, happy Hoodoo Heritage Month. And also, um, I've started a Discord server devoted to astrology and using astrology specifically as one of many healing modalities. Ooh, yes, I will. Let me finish this thought. Yeah, astrology as one of many possible healing modalities that anyone could engage in. But because it's my special interest, I wanted to start a Discord server devoted to, hey, we're studying astrology, we're talking about astrology, and we're looking at it through the lens of, hey, how can folks use astrology to know themselves better and then engage in their own healing work, it is not me prescribing astrology at you. It is straight up a whole bunch of people of all kinds of levels of understanding about astrology just coming together and sharing concepts. You don't have to know everything about astrology, nor do you have to know everything even about your chart. You just have to not be a booty hole and be interested in understanding astrology through the lens of what it means to heal and know thyself. So if you're interested, comment here or let me know by commenting on this video whenever you see it. Or let me know by just emailing me at contact@vaginajenkins.com. So that is, I think, the housekeeping stuff that I was supposed to say. as an intro and completely forgot about. But then, uh, where is it? Okay. Asia had said November 2 is the date of the Chiron opposition you wanted to pull up earlier. Oh, you're so sweet. Oh my God. Thank you for doing that labor. Thank you. Thank you. It is sincerely appreciated. Thank you for doing that labor. Let's look at the chart. You said November 2nd? Why not? Why freaking not? Let's go back here. November 2nd. November 2nd. Okay, close. What about this one? 1 month. 22. 1 week. 1 week. 1 day. Okay. Where is it? Okay, there you are. Chiron opposing Venus. Yikes on bikes. 2419, 2409. Thirteen, 10. Let's do 30 minutes back. Let's go there. Okay. Let's share this tab instead. Okay. Yes. Thank you for your patience. This is the chart that I wanted to look at because someone had a it was Venus opposing Neptune, and the Venus was in Libra, the Neptune was in Aries. And I was thinking about this journey playing out over the time period between when Venus entered Libra and this date on November 2nd. Thank you again, Asia, for looking it up. Um, where it could potentially be if you were a person who dedicated to yourself to, like, doing deep dives in some kind of way, journaling, some ritualistic process, however you process your things. But what if it could be this journey in Aries, because Aries is so much about like advocating for oneself, following one's passions, what you're excited about, centering oneself in your life, right? And this is all happening in your particular seventh house. Um, and so, what if it could be the journey of understanding, oh, shoot, this is how people that I have connected to have pulled the wool over my eyes, and I have not advocated for myself, or some version of that. There are so many ways in which this could manifest, right? But then you have this opportunity over the next like 3 weeks to get so clear, so real, about how that experience has really, really affected you. And then with the grand trine in these air signs, in Pluto allowing you to dig deep, in Jupiter allowing you to like really expand your consciousness and do some like framework changing, like really changing your mind about this. Um, yeah, with all of those assistants, so that when you got to the Venus Chiron conjunction happening on November 2nd. Yeah, November 2nd, I believe it was. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Um, when you got to this space, it could be some sort of catharsis. And I wonder if it would contribute somehow to like what your healing journey in life has been, in terms of like healing wounds of like self-abandonment and yeah. Gosh, that was really heavy. And also, no one asked for that. I just got really, really fixated on interpreting what this like transit looks like for a particular chart. but also I think that these lessons are applicable to others, whether you have those placements or not, because it really is playing out in that axis of Aries and Libra, the self and others, and how we connect and what it means to connect to others with our own like ego integrity. Yeah. Anywho, astrology. It's fun. What else is happening? Does anybody have any announcements like for your own life? Has anybody has celebrating anything? Because I am a Leo moon and I'm really, really good at celebrating people. If you're celebrating something and you want to be celebrated, put it in the comments. It can be anything, I promise. And also let me know if there are any folks that want me to look at your charts. And yeah, I'm just gonna be here enjoying the vibe for a second while I wait to hear. Ooh, yes. Who loves cool air? Nice. What is this saying? Transit in my third, fourth. That was, wait, go back. Transit in my third, ninth. That was great to hear it in that chart. Different area of life, but still relevant. Oh, this is happening in your third and ninth house. Let me think about what that's like. Oh, yeah. You're really going to be changing your mind. Which one is which? This is the Libra's the third house. Oh, no. You're in school, aren't you? I was just thinking about that. Are you still in school? I believe that you're in the business of culinary arts school. I don't know what the exact phrase for that is. Nice. Mm-mm-mm. Oh, today's tea. It's a classic. It's my usual. It's the rooibos with chamomile, but on ice. I don't even remember what I asked. I should go back to that. It's okay. Close. B day on the 12th, the day before the Aries third, Libra ninth, Neptune. Oh, that's good. Neptune, Venus. Oh yeah, that's nice for you for being in school. Um, and also happy early birthday. I wish I knew. Well, I wish I did. I don't wish that I worked at one of those chain restaurants, but I wish I knew one of their songs. I'm gonna make one up. Happy birthday. I'm so glad to say that it's your birthday this year and every year you're gay. Happy early birthday. I'm gonna write it down so that I can possibly remember on the day actually of your birthday. October 12th. Thank you so much for being here with us for another year. Uh, Trust me, I know this motherfucker raggedy as shit. Um, I know that we have not been doing our upkeep. Promise. I know. But I promise we are going to do better by you and everyone you love in 2025 and beyond. Okay? All right. Just have patience with us. Thank you for renewing your contract for another year. If there's anything that you need, please call the customer service number where we will ignore you for another 364 days. But in the meanwhile, Happy birthday, friend. I am so grateful to know you. For real, for real. Thank you for being a part of my community in some way, you know? Yeah. All right. That's all I have to say about it, really. Mm. Uh, I'm a wacko, but we have a lot of fun here, really. All right, friends. Well, I'm gonna close out this chart. Stop sharing. I'm gonna close out that chart, and I'm gonna close out this session just by saying thank you so much for stopping by. Thank you for commenting and engaging with me. It helps a lot. It really does. In terms of the algorithm, but also like in terms of sustaining myself, because sometimes I be feeling like I'm just out here talking to myself, you know? So thank you for stopping by. Thank you for like showing face, being part of my community, and just generally speaking, having my back. And as always, I also thank you for making time for queer astrology. Okay. Bye.